I'm a Lebanese Christian. I was born in Lebanon. My family brought my sisters and I here in 1996 after they fought in the Lebanese Civil War. My uncle died in the Lebanese Civil War, and we came to this country for the freedoms that that flag represents, for the freedoms that I know all of the men and women in this room have fought and defended. And because I was not born here before, because I did not have the privilege of just waking up and my mom having been a citizen, I understand and appreciate even more the beauty of this country. And I was asked early on in the campaign trail, and I like citing this and I'll continue to cite it. I won't mention her name, but it's a PC here in LD3. Who is your allegiance to? It's an important question. It's an important question whether as Republicans, it's an important question as Americans. My allegiance is to that flag, it's to the United States of America, it's to our conservative principles, and there is no other way. And so I like bringing up my palm card here because it's important what we write about ourselves on these things, right? Because this is like the, we say in marketing you have about 7 seconds, and I've got a marketing background, that's what I do in my day job. So what are the 4 things I want you to know about me? I want you to know that I'm a Christian. I want you to know that my values come from God. I want you to know that I believe that America was founded on Judeo-Christian principles, and every decision I make as a state representative is going to be made through that lens. That's it. There's no other question about it. Second, I want you to know that I'm a husband. For those, I know a handful of you got to meet Brianna. She was here with our youngest, Elias. She had to obviously take him home. He was definitely not going to stay around for the meeting. But I'm grateful that not only are Brianna and I on the same page politically, of course, we're on the same team when it comes to this, and we were able to make this decision together. And I like to joke with folks that I wanted to make sure that my wife was all in. And so it's obviously, you can tell Elias is very young, he's 4 months old. So when he was when my wife was in labor, she was in labor for 2 days, so she is a trooper. She was asking me questions about the campaign. I said, honey, if you're asking me questions about the campaign when you're in labor, you are 100% on board, and then shortly after you made the decision. Also, I am extra lucky because we were also watching football. She went into labor on Sunday, so. Yeah, exactly, 100%. That'd be crazy. Third, I am a father. I've got 3 boys. The decisions I make, the decisions that we all make are for our kids and for our grandkids. We've got a 10-year-old and an 8-year-old and now a 4-month-old, and Lord willing, more children. We need to make sure that we have families, as Charlie always called for us to get married, have families, and raise them in the right way. And those 3 things then culminate in the fact that I'm an America First conservative. That I'm a conservative for the people of Arizona. Because look, it's not just enough to use words. There's a lot of people that are going to get up here, have gotten up here, and get up and talk to voters across our state. They say a lot of words, and then what happens? They get into public office, and then they do something else. Well, we've had enough of that. I've had an honor in my career to stand up and to hold those individuals' feet to the fire. And I am proud that as a consultant, I've helped take out more people that have betrayed our values than any other consultant in this state. And I would do so again, even if it meant harm to my company, even if it meant that other people would get upset. Because if you're going to sign up to represent the Republican Party and represent the voters, you have to abide by our party principles, period, hard stop. That's important to me, and I want to make sure that you understand that. I am battle-tested, and I proudly continue to do that because there are a lot of good conservatives. Like I had the honor and pleasure of helping elect Representative Joe Chaplik and Representative Calden. We needed good conservative elected officials in LD3, and we were able to step up and have worked with a number of folks in Scottsdale and around the state and the country. My issues, pro-family economy, making sure the economy works for the people, making sure that our parents are in charge. My wife and I are in charge of raising our children, not the government, not anyone else. I want to make sure that from an academic perspective, we're focusing on core academics. We're not talking about furries and genderbread men and things and craziness that happens up in Flagstaff or what have you. No knock on Flagstaff, but Coconino County is the one county that's shrinking in population. Parents are in charge of their children, and they're in charge of raising their children. I want to make sure our communities are safe. I've had a lot of meetings and interactions with Scottsdale PD in the last number of weeks, having conversations during ride-alongs. Thankfully, I have not been in trouble, so no problem there. But we are grateful in Scottsdale for our police department. We're grateful in Cave Creek, in Carefree, and Fountain Hills for our sheriff's department. We're grateful for the work that Sheriff Sheridan's doing across our county. We wouldn't be where we are today. It would be total chaos, as we all know, without our men and women in blue. It's important that we back them. Pro-life, Second Amendment, religious freedom, freedom of speech, all these things are things that we have to defend and we have to fight for. And none of that is possible without election integrity. Congressman Hamadeh was talking about the SAFE Act. That's critical, that's important. But we need to do that here in Arizona. People ask me often, I'm a conservative data guy and I speak to groups across the state. They tell me, George, why would we secure our elections? One word, Hobbs. She vetoes everything we put in front of her. Thankfully, we've got representatives like Representative call it in. We're going to refer a vote to the people to clean up our voter rolls, to be able to end early voting early by 3 days, by the way. We're still going to have it for 21 days. That's a whole other thing. Ensuring that we have voter ID. Why is that important? Because if we don't trust elections, what can we trust? I come from a place where you don't trust the elections, you don't trust anybody. It's a very unfortunate thing, and it's impossible to live life there. We can't bring that here. So I wanted to make sure to give that background, but there are a lot of important things happening in our state, and Congressman Hamadeh mentioned the fraud. And there is a lot, yes, he mentioned a little bit in Arizona. We know what's happening in Minneapolis. Last time I said that, I said Somalia. It was a true Freudian slip. I was not trying to be funny, but I said, alas. But we have fraud happening here in Arizona that's not getting covered by the media. $2.6 billion in Medicare, about 700 million of which went to Pakistan. So the problem is now in hindsight, we can't recover that money as you can imagine. We need good, strong conservatives down there to be able to fight the fight and hold the feet to the fire of those bureaucrats, because who do we think hired those bureaucrats? The Hobbs administration. We have a lot of work to do. We have a lot of bills that are bad to stop, but it is important, and I want to end on this. The main reason why I'm running is because it's easy for all of us. If we took a poll, we could get all of the things that we oppose, right? It's easy. It's just watch MSNBC for an hour and everything that they say, we don't like it, right? But what is it that we believe in? Do we have a vision for the future? Do we have leaders that are willing to step up? Do we have a plan as conservatives to win people over? Look, we're all going to be in this meeting for 3.5 hours. Many of our peers, they're not as conservative as we are. Many of our peers don't want to engage in politics as much as us. They don't want to be talked to with numbers and from the head. They want to talk to from the heart. And we need to speak truth from them. We know where that's come from. We need to speak it boldly. We need to speak it calmly. We need to speak it with conviction. We need to go where they are, meet them. I've been honored to have seen so many of you out and about in the community this morning. I was hanging out with PCs and residents in Carefree and Cave Creek. It was an amazing morning. I was able to do that with Cody Rhyme. I know we weren't able to hear from him tonight. He's become a good friend as I've gotten to know him over the last number of months on the campaign trail. I'm getting the red sign. I'd be honored for your vote. GeorgeKhalaf.com. July 21st is the election, and then the real work starts in November so we can take back our state. Thank you so much.